Coach, if we could, we have an opening statement from you, and then we'll start taking questions.
Yeah, I just want to model the new Adidas bling. Gave us some cool stuff today, so shout out to Adidas, sponsor of the Huskers. This is a little deja vu. We were here, were we on that
16,
trip? Yeah.
yeah.
So Lauren and I have been here before, and Lindsay Peterson. So, but excited to be here, and so far Columbus has done an amazing job. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I don't know if Janine back here had anything to do with it, but when we got to the hotel, they played a video of all the girls' parents and families giving pump-up encouragement messages on this video. It was very creative and cool, and got this trip day off to a great start. So thank you for that, and all the hospitality that we've seen so far. And I remember in 16, Columbus, this place knows how to run Final Fours and big events, and I think they do a lot of other championships and things as well. So we're excited to be here, and Pitt's a really good team, and we're going to have a great challenge in front of us.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. Again, please identify yourself when asking a question. Here we go, front left.
Lincoln O'Neill, Omaha World Herald. Lauren, how does it feel to be back? And does it feel, what has the progression been like since the last time you were here? And has it sunk in the reality that this is it? This is the final weekend of your Nebraska career?
Yeah, I think this is like the third time that I felt that way, but this is actually the last one. I'm so grateful to be here and grateful to be surrounded with the people that are here with us, and this team is on to something special. There's just like a different feel, a different energy with this team, and definitely excited to see what we can do and happy to be back.
What was it like watching that video with your teammates, the message that your family conveyed to you?
I'm not the person to ask because my parents just had my dogs and Husker gear just sitting there, but it was really sweet. I know it brought a lot of the girls to tears, and it is nice to see that. Like, obviously emotions and everything runs high here, and to have that, just like a little piece of home there waiting for us, was really sweet and definitely super special. I haven't had that in any of the previous Final Fours, so really a nice touch.
Back left.
Matt Foster with KETV Omaha. Lauren, you've obviously played in a Final Four before. This is Pitt's first. What do you remember about your first trip to the Final Four, and is it an advantage kind of having this experience of knowing what it's like once those bright lights turn on?
Yeah, I think experience is always helpful. I think that, but when it comes time to the game, it's just going to be the team that's better prepared and wants it more and plays harder, and hopefully that'll be us. And but I don't think that has necessarily that great of an impact as an advantage as people think. It's just whichever team wants it more that day.
Front right.
Brent Wagner from the Lincoln Journal-Star. John, you get one more week with Lauren, and then she's gone. When she's done, what will be Lauren Stibren's legacy with Nebraska volleyball, and how will you remember her?
I think I got asked this in the ESPN interviews, and what my answer was, I could say all the normal things, you know. She started off as a freshman. She was a brat. I almost kicked her off the team. She's matured. She's been a great leader, captain, all those things. Didn't want to be captain this year, but her team voted her unanimous to be a captain. But to me, her legacy will be the introductions that she received when she wasn't playing this year, and then finally when she was introduced as a starter. The applause that she received from our fans. It's one of probably the loudest times I've ever heard Devaney. And I think that's her legacy right there. Her connection with our fans, our fan base, the Husker Nation, the respect they have for her on who she is and what she's accomplished and what a great competitor she is. You know, in Nebraska, they love players that work hard and compete hard, win or lose. That's what they take the most pride in, and I think that's Lauren's legacy.
Front right.
Yeah, Lee Feinswag from volleyballmag.com. Maddie, what do you make out of Pitt?
Sorry?
What do you make out of Pitt?
They're obviously going to be a great challenge for us, and we're really excited to play against them. We know that they have a fast offense, and they have a lot of weapons that we're going to have to pay attention to, but we're just excited for the challenge.
Lauren, you might give me a little more technical on that or more specific, because they're a different kind of team than you've played.
Yeah, but I think she hit on all of the things that we need to focus on. We know that they're going to run a fast offense. We know that they run a 6-2, and they've got great hitters everywhere. But when it comes down to the game time, we just need to focus on ourselves and play Husker volleyball, because that's ultimately what's going to take us to the next game.
Back left.
John, Lexi was named a first-team All-American today, becoming just the second freshman at Nebraska to be named first-team All-American. What has been her impact this season, and did you expect her to have that type of impact in her first year?
Do you know who the first freshman All-American was? Who? Yeah, Pavin. So it's a pretty big company that Lexi went in. Again, I got to give Kayla Banworth credit. In 9th grade, she told me Lexi was going to be really good, and I like, no way. And she made me offer her a scholarship in camp as a 9th grader. So I guess one libero can really see what's great in another libero. To have her be first team All-American is a major, major accomplishment that I think she'd be here. No, but I know she's really good, and we saw that from day one that she arrived on campus. Like, she's got something special, and she's won a lot of big awards up to this point, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, you know, being so young and becoming a first team. So I also think that just shows you the amount of respect that she has, because she was also voted Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, which might be as big as accomplishment as a first team All-American, because our conference was so good and there's so many great players. But I also think that's also a reflection of we're a great defensive team. I think we're considered one of the best defensive teams in the country. We led almost every statistical category in the Big Ten this year. And I think this is a team award that she's recognized as part of that, but this is a reflection of the defense that we play.
Okay. Middle left here.
With Lexi, kind of, I mean, she had a libero job from day one. How much did she impact the identity of that team? I know you always say serve and pass is one of the tenets of Nebraska volleyball, but how much did she kind of elevate that to an elite level to get you to be able to be playing here?
Yeah, I think her play is contagious, and her confidence and how she plays. I also think Kenzie Knuckles' moving position has also really had a major impact on our mindset. And then Keonile has, so those three really set the tone for how we play defense and what our back row can do. And then, you know, I think our, you know, stemming from how hard we work on blocking, you know, it's all works together. It's, you know, it's not just, oh, you're a great defensive player. You have to have a great block in front of you or it doesn't matter. So we take a lot of pride in that, but, you know, it's contagious. Just like when Lauren's blocking balls, it's contagious. And you know, and you guys, I keep asking, you know, where's Lauren at? How's she improved? I mean, I think Lauren's blocking better than she ever has in her whole life in career at Nebraska. I mean, blocking is a tough skill to get better at. And so I think it all works together. And you know, Lexi's part of the heartbeat of our mindset and attitude that we have.
Maddie, what is it like playing? You play in the back row with those three with Lexi, Kenzie, and kind of like, what is it like for you to be back there, and is it contagious? Do you feed off of what they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain level of trust that we talk about a lot that is required of defense in our defensive schemes and in serve receive. And I think playing next to them, we have a nonverbal communication as well as verbal communication that we know what the other person is going to do, and that allows us to all do our jobs well. And so I think that level of trust is really important. And like you said, it's very contagious between the four of us.
Do you have a nickname for those three, or is there a group nickname for them? What do y'all call them?
We called them three the midgets.
How do they like that?
They love it.
We as coaches don't use that terminology. We call them the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom.
That right?
Channel 1011 in Lincoln. Maddie, you're in a Final Four field that has the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and then, or excuse me, the 1, the 3, the 4, a combined 90 wins out of those other teams. You guys, how do you balance that belief that you can win a national championship, but know that you're up against a pretty stacked field?
Yeah, I think this team has had a really deep belief from the beginning of season, regardless wins and losses in conference. And I think it goes to show with us being seeded 10th and being the lowest seeded team since 2014 in the Final Four, the belief in this and that we have in each other. And so I think we're just going to carry that joy and belief through these next matches.
Jacob Myers, the Columbus Dispatch. John, different topic, but I just wanted to ask about Danny and your impressions of her and her Louisville program that she's built. And is it safe to assume if you're not playing her in the final and they get there that you'll be rooting for her?
Well, we'll always root for her when we're playing them, but I'm very proud of Danny. I'm not surprised what she's done. She's done an amazing job. She's done it really quickly, which is, I mean, I'm sure she's going to have a good shot at being Coach of the Year. But to go undefeated to this point is really, really hard. And you could say, oh, well, they played in the ACC. Well, we know how tough the ACC is this year, which makes it even more. And then she came in and they kicked our butt in Devaney. So she's done a great job. And, you know, she's a small town Nebraska kid who I made her switch positions her senior year. And she set for a national championship, and the next year I made her a libero. She, you know, weathered that storm, and I hired her back as I tell all of our players that want to coach, you got to go away somewhere else and see what the rest of the world's like, because it's not every place is like Nebraska. So she went away and coached, I think, at Tennessee and Louisville. I hired her back. We won a national championship in 15, and then. You know, she got hired at Louisville. I remember Tom Jurich, the AD, called me and said, "Hey, we want to hire Danny." I said, "Great, she's ready to go." That was it. It was a done deal. Like 5 minutes, she was hired, and she's done an